Hi, are you dealing with someone who is so cool while you are afraid and that you want to prevent a disaster? Here is an anonymous letter about this situation. I hope that you can stick around. Maybe there's something here for you. All right, here is the letter. I'm going to look at my side here. Hi, Celeste. My girlfriend is a nuthead. She thinks our life is okay or is going to be okay. She always has hope and is always so cool. She's always trying to explain to me. She's not worried that we are doing what we should, so she should not be paranoid. Everybody's worried while she's dancing to a music or chatting with her friends. She can't see that if we continue with this, our situation could get worse. I tried not to worry and I got screwed. I have been in a pile of mess. I don't like to feel stressed anymore. I'm tired of being afraid. While she is acting so cool, I try to be strong and prepared. How can I make her see it my way, Celeste? All right, so that's the letter. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the letter into sentences and discuss the sentences. Okay? All right. All right, so let's begin. It's really annoying, isn't it? We think that anytime the world is going to explode on us, we think that the meteor is going to drop on us, and that sometime, someday, we're going to drop on our knees and beg for things to get better. But the people around us, or somebody is so cool, as if they're not afraid, or it's like they're, in a way, they're crazy not to even worry, because it's like they don't know how it is to suffer, or acting so cool is like they're not aware of what's heading their way. They're so much in the clouds, and it makes you think that they are being careless, they are being too trustful. And what happens to the trust, what happens to the faith when they're down on their knees and they're crying? Yes, a pile of mess is horrible. However, Amos, I'm going to call the sender Amos, okay? Are they all bad? Are they all 24/7 bad? You might be hard on yourself about the past. Maybe, just maybe there was something really that made you feel good along the way. Maybe there was a friend you had known, or maybe you got better, or you got really skilled at something. Try to deconstruct this failure and try to see it in parts, and yeah, give balance to it, parts and whole. Sometimes we can't see the forest for the trees. Sometimes we judge our situation or our past, or some outcomes in our past to as a whole, and we don't see it in parts, because it might be unfair to you to see it so badly. It might be unfair to you because, you have worked hard for it. Yes, just maybe there was some kind of greatness or some kind of excellence that you have discovered about yourself that you might not have discovered if you had not attempted to dive into this endeavor that you perceive to be a failure. It can be quite unfair when we judge our past to be a failure, because sometimes people, if it's a business, for example, sometimes people were just not ready for your product, for example, or they happen to not like you in a certain way. People are allowed to have preference, right? Just like you prefer a video game or you prefer another person for another person. Sometimes it's just preference. Or sometimes your product, for example, the one that failed, sometimes, yeah, this product, they just don't need it. If they didn't buy your product, try not to decide for them what to think about your product or your talent or your other relationships. They broke up with you, and try not to think you're a bad person or your relationships and all, you're not worthy. All those bad things, if they didn't even say anything. And even if they did, all relationships, there are two sides of a story, and sometimes you have to choose what you will take with you. If you choose to see it as a failure, then it's not going to help you. Choose to see your relationships as a learning experience instead of something to brand you to be a bad partner or a bad sibling, parent, or child. Maybe your business had failed after 10 years, but for the first 2 years, 3 years, 8 years, 9 years, it was great. You see, sometimes we become unfair with our own judgments of ourselves. And aside from being unfair, we are not being helpful to ourselves. Imagine if these are the thoughts that you would bring in with yourself, that the whole 10 years, for example, is a failure, but there are 10 long years. Isn't it quite unfair to look at 10 long years with one adjective? Because when we see it as a whole, it's just two things: fail or pass, or fail or success. And it can be so harsh that sometimes we can be persecuting ourselves. Yes, stress is really annoying. I don't think anybody really wants a lot of stress, right? But stress usually comes with an expectation or with a desire to control something, to get to an outcome. That's why it's stressful, because it's like there's no other option. It's like there can be no other way or no other success point or no other destination when you are stressed. You know, there's it's got to be this certain outcome. It's like there are 9 outcomes and you head for one, and you go against 9 kinds of outcomes. You see how much stress you have to be because you're driving towards something and you're driving against another thing. It's unfair for you to judge yourself as a failure. That event was a failure. It's not you as a person. Sometimes we integrate that what we do, what people say about us, we brand it on us. Sometimes we tend to do that. I'm just trying to tell you, you are not your failure. Your failure. You are not your job, as you are not your wrongs, your right. You are separate from all these things. I noticed that in a way, your partner might be like your opposite. She's having fun, she's playing it cool, she's enjoying the moment and chatting with friends, having no fear, trusting. In a way, maybe for her, you know, you you are you have come to her life for you to show her that maybe she has to be more careful as well, because there are consequences and there are real consequences. All right, I'm not saying who's right or wrong here, who's bad or good here, but it's like both of you have something to learn from each other. It seems your partner wants to be reasonable about this when she talks to you. She's trying to explain. She's asking, maybe inquiring, or just really staying level-headed about this. On your end, however, I'm thinking maybe in a way you want her to be afraid in a way. Maybe you would feel that if she was more afraid, it would comfort you in a way. It would make you feel less lonely, or it would make you feel less afraid if she was afraid with you. Maybe her being afraid with you proves that she loves you. Maybe you need her to be afraid to confirm that your feelings are real. You need her to maybe you are needing her to validate your feelings. I think it's great that you're trying to be strong. It's good to try to prepare, for anything that might happen. Just try not to deny how you feel, okay? And maybe it would be helpful if you told her exactly how you feel. It would connect you, it would bond you if she knew how fearful you are. Maybe she doesn't know, And but if you are clear about how you feel, it gives her a way to love you. It gives her a path to care for you. It gives her a way to comfort you. you know Sometimes we feel, we have to be strong. Since no one is strong, we have to be strong, and so we man up. It's like we dig, it's like we dig a hole for our fears and silence it, and pack all sand on it so our fears wouldn't surface. But uh, but actually, when we do this, this will actually prolong it. Our fears will just persist because our fears are wanting our attention. Our fears want to be heard in a way. They don't want to be locked up. And the more you lock it in, the more it will scare you, the more it will, haunt you. All right. So try not to deny these feelings. You can say, I feel afraid right now, and but I want to, I want to prepare. All right. So those are things you can do. Two things: admit how you feel and state what you want to happen. And do this all the time, even if it's faint, even if you just sense that you're afraid. All right. Even if you just sense it, because when we're trying to be strong, it the more we are more determined to lock the fears, and so we have to be exerting more effort into acknowledging our fears, because when we're trying to be strong, that's our fears are have the faintest whisper, so even if it's really faint, right? Admit it to yourself. Let the feeling run all over your body. If you feel like there's something in your heart, or an ache somewhere in your body, let the feeling sit with you. Again, I'm just reminding you, when we are trying to be strong, that is when our fears are so faint. And if we don't catch it, we lose the chance to heal. And with your partner, all right, I hope that you can take it further. With your partner, try to be aware of this feeling, all right? So when dealing with your partner, try to be aware that you have this fear from the past, all right? And the fear of the present, all right? So sometimes when we deal with our partner, we bring our fears from the past as we deal with our partner. So it's like there's this party of fears for the present and the future, and fears from the past. So with your present plans or present situation, if you have plans already, you have backup plans about your situation, that's enough. If you have done your work for the day, if you have worried about it, all right, then that would be enough. Worry, you worry for 1 hour of the day, you worry for 2 hours of the day, but once you have it there already, you have the plans already in place, now you can enjoy. Now you can live the moment with your partner. You can, waste time away just as she is doing. Or just because we worry for something for 24/7 doesn't make our life better. Just because you worry about it, do you think the threats or the consequences will grow smaller? They won't. detach. Detach from your fears already. I hope that makes sense to you. All right, so let's have a recap, all right, at this time. Okay, so it's really frustrating when we are with a partner who is so cool while we are worried. We are so worried about our situation. You know, it's like you're alone worrying, and sometimes it does make you feel like you're crazy worrying, you know. Maybe because of this we need our partners to comfort us, but you know, we blame them in a way, you know, we blame them instead. And second, the thing I discussed here, try to break down your past. All right, try to break down your past in parts. Okay, because if we see it is as a whole, you know, it's like there's just no chance to feel good about it. And lastly, all right, try to separate, all right, try to separate your feelings, your past failures, all right, and try not to put it in the situation at hand, right? So that's the end of this video, and I have other videos, these random letters that I'm having. So if you're interested, I hope that you can visit them. All right, so see you again. Hope to see you again. Bye.